This podcast features immature people talking about very mature content and is intended only for adult audiences. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Pen is Mightier, the world's hottest but also probably weirdest fanfiction and erotica competition. I am your host, Paul J.P. On today's episode, we have a sultry squad of blushing brawlers, and I am so excited to welcome them to my audio Cocktagon. We have the star. What?
That was awesome. Oh, God.
You're in the Cocktagon. It's the audio Cocktagon. It's the octagon
no
of
warning
cock.
that that's where we were.
My God. Oh, that's great.
We have the star of CBC's Ming's Dynasty and also the co-host of Wrestling Dream Match podcast, Book It Vince. It's Anthony Hall.
Hello, everybody. Very happy to be in Paul JP's Cocktagon.
That's a wrestling voice.
Yeah. We have a writer, actor, and stand-up who co-hosts the podcast Tarts and Craft on the Sonar Network and created the web series Comedians Getting High and Watching Hallmark Movies. It's Rachel Manson.
Hi, everybody. Excited and tantalized to be in the Cocktagon.
I'm gonna regret using that word.
Everyone has to use it.
And lastly, we have a comedian whose show Carson and Taylor promised to do a bunch of flips, won him the Audience Choice Award at the Toronto Sketch Comedy Festival for the second year in a row. It's Taylor Davis.
Hello, good to be back at the Cocktagon.
Yay. You can't undo it.
The toothpaste is out of the tube. Yeah.
What?
What, you've never heard that phrase? The toothpaste is out of the tube?
I mean, I like it.
I've never heard it, but that is so much something that can't go back into a tube.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, the cat's out of the bag, but you can always put a cat back into a bag.
Cats are fairly small, and they're not going that far.
Have you guys ever put cats into a bag?
I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm biased.
I've put two.
Oh.
And it was because I was...
end?
Because I was visiting my neighbor. This is like back where I grew up out in the country. And one of my cats had apparently followed me. And as I was trying to find a way to get him home, another one of my cats had also followed me. So then I was like, because I was very young. I was like, I don't know how to carry both of them at the same time. And I'm going on the road to get home. So I put them both in plastic bags.
Wait.
Oh, no.
Wait.
with their heads sticking out. Like grocery bags.
Yeah, I was just like a Metro shopping bag, like a Shoppers Drug Mart. Oh my God!
And it was
That's
chaos.
Fucked.
The whole walk home.
Wait, in the same bag?
The first time I did that was a terrible idea, and then I put them in two separate bags.
I was gonna say, you can't put two melons into one bag. Two live cats are gonna fucking rip that thing.
Well, the thing is that they all get along, so I was like, in my young kid's mind, was like, oh, he'll be fine. They understand that I'm going on the road and it's dangerous. I'll put them in the same bag together. They'll get along perfectly fine.
Yeah, they have a sense of reality and consequences. This will be fine.
That was chaos. So yeah, putting cats in the bag, very difficult, but doable.
Taylor, I don't know if it's your magnificent beard or your buttery rich baritone, but I don't believe you were ever a young child.
Oh, that's true.
I don't have the beard anymore. The beard's gone.
Oh
What?
My God.
What?
Do you know what wearing a mask is with the giant beard?
Oh, that's true.
It's like a nightmare.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for your sacrifice for the betterment of the general populace.
It was my
Thank you for
pleasure.
your service. Yeah.
All right, today these three performers are going to go head to head, presenting readings of erotica in hopes of winning the approval of the others. And along the way, we're going to play a couple of short games for a little bit of extra credit. At the end of the episode, we will all collectively decide who has done enough to be named the winner of this week's episode. And the theme of this week's episode is trust.
Mm-hmm.
So what does trust mean to everybody?
Mm.
It's a bit of a deep question to start with. I'll start with something easier. How is everybody doing today?
Good.
Oh, that's a harder question for sure. Fine.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Fine.
You know, it's an odd time. We're still in pandemic times. Every day is a lovely bouquet of anxiety and unknowing, but also of fun and odd surprises, and you learn things about yourself, and you poke through little corners of your mind, and you lift up blankets and you go, oh, I didn't know that was under there. Might as well just keep that under there. But you learn.
Yeah, to add on to what Rachel is saying, every day's a nightmare, Paul. It's just a goddamn nightmare. Here in the Cocktagon, I know we can speak freely.
Maybe that's what trust is.
Yeah.
You come to a safe space like the Cocktagon.
I feel safe. I've always felt safe in the Cocktagon as a circle of trust among horny friends, and that's nice.
Starting us off on that right note, our first story is going to be presented by Rachel Manson today.
Oh, God.
So I would like to ask you, before you begin,
Wonderful.
about your experience with erotica and fan fiction in the past. I know you've appeared several times on the live show that this podcast is based on.
Hooray. Yes, I have. That's, yes, I have been an erotic fan fiction fan for a very long time. I've been on your show when it was live. I wrote a pilot about horny teenagers writing erotic fan fiction that during COVID, we got CBC relief funding, just a little bit of pocket cash for the project.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. CBC, if you're listening, send us the contract. We don't know the rules. It's fun to give us stuff, but when you don't tell us what the stuff does, we don't know how to use it. But no, thank you, CBC, for your help. Maybe we should cut that. No, it's fine. Yeah, so the project is called Neurotica. Keep your eye out. It was also supposed to be at Cannes this spring, but again, COVID and everything died. But still, the project is well and good, and I love reading erotic fan fiction, and I love. I write it for the script and for the project. Yes, I do. But Paul, I have a long-standing tradition on your show of going to the depths of the internet and finding weird ones to read, and only giving them like a very light peruse, so that much of it I want to be reading for the first time on your show.
Yeah, and it's backfired at least once.
Oh, it's backfired 4 times consistently. It has never worked, but does that mean you stop doing it? No, you keep doing the mistake. So this one, it's funny. So I just to explain a little bit of where my brain's been at and what kind of thing I've been looking for. I am embarrassed to say, but also proud to say, that it took COVID and a worldwide pandemic to watch Game of Thrones for the first time.
Oh.
I am literally on the journey for the first time. I'm watching it with Jeff, my boy partner man. God, I wish I could communicate that normally. But he's read all the.
That's great. You said that very comfortably.
I think, yeah, that came out right. Good, excellent. It's only.
He's not a boy. He's a man.
He's an adult man. He's an adult man friend. He's a man friend. He's around, but he's also met my parents. I don't know. Fuck. Only took a year and a half, and here's how comfortable we are. But he has read all the Game of Thrones books. He's seen every single episode, and he's watching it with me as I experience it for the first time. So I'm in season 4 right now. And
okay, no spoilers, everybody.
No spoilers, but also, like, I lived in society. I know some of the big stuff, unfortunately. I was awake during Game of Thrones. People said stuff out loud.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I know, but, like, last weekend I saw The Red Wedding for the first time, and truly, every time there was a wedding or anyone talked about marriage in the show, I tapped Jeff and I was like, is this the red wedding? And he's like, no, that happens next season. And then the next time that happens, I was like, is this the red wedding? And he's like, no, it happens next season. So I was like, okay. And he red herringed me because I did not know the red wedding was happening. Because I said, is this the red wedding? And he said no. So I was just, it was such a bad, I was laughing hysterically because it gets to a point where it's just absurd what's happening. But
oh yeah.
Anyways, I am thoroughly enjoying my journey. And speaking of trust, who trusts each other more than the knights of I guess I don't know if they're knights. I'm still so bad with all the vernacular. Like, all the old white men look the fucking same. I have to ask, like, is this Tywin or who the fuck? Like, all the old white men look the same, and they all have dumb fucking names. And I don't know what the shit is going on half the time, but it's been great.
Eventually, you learn to tell them apart by their sort of regional English accents.
But they don't even. Because if you're fucking, oh, what's his face? Oh, I hate him so much. Oh, who's the one I fucking hate?
It could be literally anybody.
Littlefinger. What's his name?
Oh, Peter Baelish.
I don't know if I hate the actor. That I know I'm supposed to hate the character. What the fuck is he? What is Peter Baelish fucking doing? He changed his voice in the middle of a fucking series. It's season 3, and he's like, what if I start talking like this? And everyone's like, oh, it's so cold where we shoot. I don't want to tell him we have to reshoot this. And dumb fucking voice. Anyway, sorry, I haven't been able to talk to anybody about this. But I thought, who better, so back to trust, back to the sexy times. Who better trusts each other than the Night Watch and the brothers of the Night Watch? And that they trust each other an awful lot. So I started checking, like, maybe there's some dirty stuff in there. It was really hard to find a Game of Thrones fan fiction that was not either underage or wolves fucking. Or man, a lot of wolf fucking, a lot of man fucking wolf. Finally found one about the Night Watch. It is called Chapter 1 Beyond the Wall. Also, for those of you who are Game of Thrones beginners out there who did not know this, whenever they talk about the other or the others in early times, those are White Walkers. You don't know what a White Walker is, for sure fucking Google it, because it's going to be necessary.
They're like zombies. They're like weird, like ice zombies. Frozen zombies.
Crazy. Anyway, sorry. Okay. So we jump in. There's 3 Night Watch men: Sir Waymar Royce, Will, and this other guy who's watching the horses. He's not here right now. We'll check Garrett. We'll check in with him later.
Okay.
They're going to check shit out. Some White Walker stuff, some wildling stuff going on. But right now they just think the others the White Walkers are just an old wives' tale. So let's dive in. Before long, Sir Waymar Royce and Will reached the edge of the camp, hiding under a particularly low-hanging tree overlooking the camp on a ridge. Will came to an abrupt stop, fear pounding in his mind. Everything was the same as... Already.
That's where the pounding happens, in your mind.
Always in your mind. Everything was the same as he last saw it, except that the bodies of the wildlings were no longer there. A loud curse from behind him startled Will into drawing his dagger. A sword slashed at a branch as Waymar staggered behind, nearly tripping on some slick mud before posing heroically with his sword drawn. And then they keep up their theatrics. Royce, which is Waymar, they just switch it. Royce paused to take in the scene, then boomed in the silence. Ha! I think you might be seeing ghosts, brother. Will stared in horror, not comprehending where the recently dead went. He knew he saw them. When the knight motioned for him to follow, Will obeyed, reluctantly. The knight looked around the deserted camp, muttering under his breath, "We'll see if I come back a failure from my first trip over the wall." He motioned to the large tree. Up, up, up. Let's find out if you can see where they went. It just occurred to me, the reason this is going to sound fucking stupid is I don't have a British accent. But that's not the only reason. Muttering a curse under his breath that was stolen by the raging wind, Will grabbed a hold onto the lowest branch of the tree and began to climb. Before long, he was cursing as sharp bark bit through his gloves and hands as he ascended high into the tree. Pausing for a moment to gather his breath, Will barely heard the knight below say, "Halt! Who is there?" No answer came. He saw the caw of a raven. Okay.
Saw a caw.
Yeah. All right. The very sounds of the forest around him had ceased. A shape slinked into sight with flesh pale blue, hair long and covered in frost, armor scintillating wintry colors.
Ooh.
It's a great word. I hope it's real. The creature wore his armor over the swell of 2 breasts under her chest, but wore nothing.
No.
Yep, here we go. But wore nothing else save a small cloth of icy blue material around her waist, and carried in her hands long sword made of pale ice. Sir Waymar squared his shoulders and bravely lifted his sword. "Dance with me, then!" 1,000 tales from Will's childhood ran through his mind as he watched the fight unfold beneath him with growing fear. The other halted in front of the knight, her gaze fixed on the knight's sword before slowly lowering and absorbing the knight's powerfully broad chest, concealed by layers of fur and leather. Finally, they settled on his crotch, where the knight's engorged member was hard with the fury of battle, tightly covered by thick black leather pants. Will paused briefly, sure that for a brief moment the expression on the creature's face was hunger?
Oh, Jesus.
Just as silent as shadows, more female creatures surrounded the pair in the clearing. A dozen pale-skinned, bony creatures watched on with what Will swore was lust in their icy blue eyes. With horror, Will noticed that some of them had loosened their armors and were caressing their breasts the size of small melons, or had their hands between their legs.
This story is the opposite of Midsummer.
Literally. It's the exact opposite. This is the antithesis. Yet they made no move to interfere with the battle as that was starting at the clearing. Steel against ice, faster and faster. Royce missed a step and realized his mistake a moment too late. The icy sword ripped through his ringmail and leather, revealing the strong, muscular stomach and abs by the athletic knight. Sir Waymar pressed a halting hand to his wound, which came away covered with red blood. The look on the other's face was pure longing. It said something in a language that Will did not understand, but the tone was lusty. Okay. Then admitted it. With a deliberate swing, the other brought her sword down, and Will watched as Sir Waymar Royce lift his. Period. The Watchers moved forward together as one. When the blades touched, the steel broke in half, staggering Royce, pale hands ripping and tearing the armor and leather coverings from the knight. When the knight lay nude on the muddy, snowy ground, the other, who defeated him, dropped her blade to the ground and pulled the side of the thin covering concealing her from the waist down. Beneath it was the cleft of a woman. God, no. Oh, fuck. It was almost like any other Will had ever seen, but pale and blue. Despite strong struggles from the knight, unyielding hands, cold as ice, held him down to the ground as the other straddled him, one knee to each side of his hips. Grasping his swollen manhood in her hands, she guided it between her womanly lips, inch by inch, settled onto his cock. Oh, God. It gets worse.
Her womanly lips.
This is not written by a woman. Sir Waymar Royce was conflicted. Oh, fuck, okay. Whew, here we go. The cunt of the other was the tightest, wettest.
Oh my
wow. But strangely, the hottest of any he had sampled before, whores and highborns alike. A moan escaped his lips, unwillingly but wanting all the same. The other smirked coldly above him, resting her cold as ice palms on his chest, rolling her hips faster and faster, driving his manhood deep inside her most intimate crevice. Fuck you! This was not written by a woman. Ugh, that's fucking sucks. Sir Waymar grasped in combined pain and pleasure, as his gaze darted everywhere around him, absorbing the half-naked other women, holding him down, pleasuring themselves, and moaning all around. Another other stepped behind the one that was riding him, and with a few flicks of hidden clasps, freed the bouncing other's pale as ice breasts from confinement. Immediately they began to wobble with the up and down motion of her riding his cock. The knight said, "Oh, by the seven, I'm close. Why? What is happening?"
Really the $1,000,000 question.
$1,000,000 question. The knight groaned euphorically. The other only answered with a smirk, increasing her fast-paced, frantic bouncing on his cock. As the knight began testing up to withhold his inevitable climax, he noticed that the others holding him had let him go some time in the past, and were openly fingering themselves, moaning in conjunction with the one riding him, and even leaning over to suck on the sweet pale blue buds of Crawford other nipple. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh no.
Jesus.
Oh, it's almost done. Okay. Taking his chance to attempt escape, Sir Waymar Royce lifted his hands in anger towards the neck of the other riding him. Sir Waymar Royce's scream bore deep into Will's soul. His arms were entirely frozen into blue, unresponsive ice, and deathly blue color was spreading over his entire body. The knight could feel his warmth being sucked out of his body, through his cock, into the cunt of the other. Her lips were covered in frost as his last breath escaped them before his face froze solid, his body jerking with climax, spilling his life's seed deep into the womb of the other riding him. Oh no.
Oh boy.
The other tilted her head upward, and a primal groan echoed outward. Her ice blue eyes locked onto Will's a moment before he closed them. When he could hold his eyes closed no longer, the camp below was empty of the others, and he began to climb down slowly. This is Will, the guy that was still in the tree. Jesus.
Right.
Will was lying face up on the snow, still nude, still dead. Good. Panicking for a plan, Will knelt down and collected fragments of the knight's broken sword, intent on providing them to Lord Commander Mormont for proof. "Garrod," he said quietly to himself, "I have to hurry." Will rose. Sir Waymar Rose's was already standing over him. His cock was rock hard, an icy dagger. Okay, this is like the epilogue.
Oh gosh.
But now he's another. So, but he's hard. His eyes were open, unnatural blue, staring outward. The sword fell from Will's suddenly useless fingers, and he turned to run before the strong hand grabbed his shoulders. Laughing maniacally in his mind to the sound of tearing cloth, the last thing to cross his thoughts before everything went ice was, "I should have let them take my hand." I think that was a reference to something that happened earlier that I kind of...
Yeah, I was...
Anyway, so he turned into a White Walker, and he was still hard. The end.
Woo-woo!
Yay!
Wait, wasn't he stabbed? Right?
Yeah.
He was stabbed early on, but then kept going.
Yes.
There was the Ready Red.
Yeah, the Ready Red. So I guess he was stabbed. But if you watch Game of Thrones, they do a lot of shit while they're stabbed. Like, I mean, people walk away with 4 arrows in them, being like, "Well, better get home." Like, they seem to have a pretty high pain tolerance. But yeah, that was Beyond the Wall.
Unbelievable. That was great.
Thank
Beautiful.
you. I didn't write it, but somebody did.
The scene where he's sort of grabs the White Walker by the neck and starts to freeze. For some reason, the only thing that was in my head is that one episode of the Magic School Bus where they go to the moon or Mars or something.
Yeah.
Colonel takes the helmet off and his head turns into a block of ice.
Yeah, that was disturbing. They shouldn't have put that.
It was disturbing, not quite as disturbing as what you brought for us today.
Yeah, but we expected that to be disturbing.
Fair enough.
I don't sit watching fucking Magic School Bus being like, I hope something terrifying and scarring happens that I'll think about the rest of my life. Woohoo. White Walkers can fuck, and now you know. All the ways to describe vaginas were so upsetting.
It was a lot of different words. Like, none of them anything else than the worst kind of hack.
They're all bad. Oh, God.
Womanly lips. The cleft of a woman.
The fucking cleft. I can't. Fuck off. I just can't. Absolutely fuck that. No way. And oh God, there's some great lists of like how like compilations of how male writers like describe female parts in erotica, and it's so bad. Oh, okay. Wait, I should clarify. It is chapter 1. Beyond the Wall is the first chapter of a larger fan fiction called A Song of Lust and Desire by.
Oh, that's a great name.
Yeah, you can find it on Literotica, and it's by. I don't want to. Okay, it's by username Arya Stark Naked.
Oh no,
that's the worst.
I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed.
Right? Everything falls into place, but also I kind of wish it didn't.
Yes.
But anyways, now I was always wondering if the vagina of a White Walker is hot, and now we know.
It's like icy hot. It's like that stuff to help your muscles.
Yeah, exactly.
Tiger
It's
bomb.
cold and hot at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to shift over to our first game that we're going to play. Is a game that I call A Rose by Any Other Name.
Ooh.
So I'm going to give you the title of a story that I found on fanfiction.net, and I would like you to guess the fandom that it was written about. And whoever is closest, and I guess I'm going to be determining what closest means.
It's amazing.
Whoever's closest will get the credit.
Amazing.
So our first story is called A Night in the West Wing.
Is it night with a K or with an N?
It's night with an N.
Okay.
Do we just go?
Yeah. Anybody want to hazard a guess?
I assume it's the West Wing, the television show.
Okay, that's one guess.
That's excellent.
What's another government-y show? House of Cards.
Fuck,
House of Cards. Okay.
I was gonna go like Harry Potter because it's like the West Wing of the castle. Damn it.
I'm gonna give the credit to Rachel on that one. I think she was closest.
Is it Beauty and the Beast?
It is Beauty and the Beast.
As soon as you said the castle, I was like, "Oh, the West! It's forbidden to go in the West Wing."
Oh,
yeah,
you're totally right. Okay, yay! I did it.
So our second title is As the Sun Rises.
Lion King?
Whoa.
It is not Lion King.
Fuck.
Is it vampire related, or I can't ask questions, can I?
You can ask questions.
I'm gonna say Buffy.
Buffy, okay.
That's my guess.
I'm just gonna say Twilight. Yeah.
As the sun rises. So it's something that happens at night.
It is something that happens at night, but if I say that it's not vampire related.
Okay. Then I'm going to say Teen Wolf.
Oh.
It's not vampire related, but it is as the sun rises. Something that happens at night.
Yeah, the night is very key.
To be honest, like I just really want it to be vampire related now, and it's kind of ruining it that it's not.
I stand by Teen Wolf.
I'm very sorry. It's Batman.
Oh.
Was that night spelt with a K?
No, there's no night in that time.
I'm gonna have to ask that every damn time now.
Oh god!
I don't think
anyone should get a point for that.
Okay, then we'll bring it to our third and final title of the round. This one's a crossover, and it's called Frosted Tips.
Now, is Tips spelled with a C or a K?
Yes, very important.
Okay. Frosted Tips. Oh,
Frosted.
Wait, can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it based on a television or movie, or is it celebrity based?
It is celebrity based.
Fucking knew it. Who had Frosted Tips?
I mean, I'll say I'll go with NSYNC for this one.
Oh, good one. I was gonna go with Justin Timberlake. I'm gonna say.
Wait, you said it's a crossover, what? Right?
It is a crossover. Yeah.
So could it be Frozen and One Direction?
Okay.
I'm sure there are thousands of stories out there about exactly that, but this is not one of them.
I'm still gonna stand by Justin Timberlake. Actually, I think One Direction was smart. I think One Direction is a closer, or the Backstreet Boys, some sort of boy band.
Mm.
Damn it. Ugh. All I can think about is White Walker now. Fuck. You know what? No, I'm gonna stand by Justin Timberlake, and I'm gonna say Justin Timberlake. And is it a crossover with a movie, or like with a television show? With a show?
No, it's a crossover with another real person.
These are a lot of clues you're getting, Rachel.
I know. Sorry.
I did a lot of clues.
Taylor, you could be asking questions if you want.
Well, once I found out we were allowed.
What's the answer?
Yeah. I need to know. Okay.
All right. The answer is Frosted Tips is a crossover between Guy Fieri and Republican Senator Ted Cruz.
Fuck off!
You what?
No.
Are you
How
serious?
the fuck were we gonna get that? That's insane.
Hey, yeah. No fucking chance. No fucking chance.
It's a pretty excellent story.
Oh my goodness.
Which if I'm remembering right, involves them having sex in a dumpster as they cry to the heavens. This is what we deserve.
Wow.
Please send that to me. I need it.
I definitely will, but I will say, as reprehensible as I find Ted Cruz, I think Guy Fieri deserves better.
Oh,
yeah, Guy Fieri is awesome.
I didn't know he was actually like a good guy, but he is,
and he's just out there like, living his life as best as he possibly can, while helping everybody.
No, he deserves better than Ted Cruz for sure. Nobody does that.
Then a Ted Cruz ticket to Flavor Town.
Ew. I think. I don't know whose guess was the closest, though.
I say 0 points. Rachel's the only one who leaves this round with points.
I get it. 0
points.
I
think Rachel takes the game.
I don't know if you should. I don't know if you're caring about the integrity of the competition, Taylor. But I'm. No, I actually think we should go to whoever said One Direction because that's the most fan fiction appropriate guess.
I said Frozen and One Direction.
I think we're still going to give Rachel the bonus points for the game. Just because the score basically comes to 1 to 0 to 0.
That's fair.
We'll do better next time.
That's all right.
We know to think in obscurity now. We know that.
Yeah, we've got another bonus game coming up later, so another opportunity to earn some points. But before that, it's time to get back into the main thrust of the competition.
In the Cocktagon.
Next, stepping into the Cocktagon is a story from Anthony Hall.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
I'm so looking forward to it. Love to hear your experience with erotica and fan fiction because I can't say you were also on you've also appeared on live. Everybody on this episode has appeared on the actual live show. And Anthony, I believe you won the live show twice.
I only won one time.
Just the one time. Okay.
It was with another wrestling story. It was the crossover, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Sidney Crosby.
That's hot.
I'm not super familiar with the world of fan fiction and erotica. And I took a stab at writing it for the first time for the show. And, it was a good time. I think my preferred medium of erotica is pornography. Yeah.
Fair. That's totally fair. That's a good version.
I enjoy the pornography. That's what an old person would say. I enjoy the pornography.
It's old-fashioned, but I like it.
Specifically, art porn, I guess, is my thing. I really like that.
Art porn?
Yeah, it's like basically just really like high production value pornography.
Okay,
I thought it was like paintings for like characters from Painting's Cock.
Yeah, it's just Bob Ross painting something, speed painting it, and then just thrusting his cock right through the frame.
I mean, it's a very specific interest.
Wow. Oof. It's a big.
That's what I'm bringing for the next episode that I appear on. Yeah. But today I'm gonna read another wrestling story, and it's pretty tame, I think, but I think the drama of it is really what makes it spicy.
Okay, yeah.
That's sometimes all you need, yeah.
Shall I begin?
Fuck.
Absolutely, yeah. Go for it.
All right, so I'm bringing into the scrotum dome of the Cocktagon
Oh my god.
a story by Wattpad user Ash Shadows. This is a part of her WWE One Shots fan fiction, and this story is called Shawn Michaels Betrayal at Heart.
Ooh.
Wait, how's heart spelled?
H-E
Okay,
ART.
so it's regular.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were going. I knew that.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, for wrestling fans of a certain age, that could have changed everything.
I would just spell you with a K.
That's a good one too. I think I might actually write a Montreal Screwjob erotica.
Ooh.
But without further ado, I bring to you Shawn Michaels' Betrayal at Heart. Then, for the thousands in attendance, and for the millions watching at home, you grin as you watch the two build up the crowd. Watching your brother and best friend work together is the stuff of dreams. Oh, you are Triple H's sibling in this story.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's nice.
The charisma between the two of them is second to none, both in and out of the ring. They make the perfect pairing, both witty and daring, but one much better looking. It's no secret between you and your brother Triple H, Shawn, and the creative team that you fancy the Heartbreak Kid. Well, you suppose it has to be Shawn, or it's kind of weird with you being related to Hunter and all. Let's get ready to suck it, the crowd cheers, and the smile on your face only gets bigger. This is their usual routine, getting the crowd fired up, but this time Triple H turns to Shawn, kicking him. Shawn bends over in pain, and the crowd gasps in shock. Hunter, positioning Shawn's head between his legs, setting him up for the pedigree as he holds Shawn's arms behind his back. You watch in shock, with thousands looking down from their seats on the arena as Hunter jumps, taking Shawn with him all the way back to the mat. Shawn's head bounces off the padded, but still hard, surface, causing you to wince. You shake your head in disbelief as Triple H paces before his teammate. Not even 15 minutes ago, the three of you had been laughing and smiling, talking about who they were going to go after next, but now it seems like all of that has gone out the window. It seems almost as if it had never happened at all. Reality comes crashing down upon you and see Triple H rip off his D-Generation X shirt, the one both him and Shawn had been wearing when they exited, the one you are still currently wearing, and he throws it by Shawn's head, discarding the garment as if it means nothing to him. Overcome by anger, you storm out onto the stage. As he makes his way up the ramp, you sprint over to him. Hunter, what the fuck? You shout as he gives you a stern look. You stupid, idiotic, filthy, dirty, backstabbing son of a... Your back collides with the barricade, knocking the air out of your lungs. You look up, blinking a few times so you can focus, but your brother has already walked off.
Oh.
Two referees come to check on you, but you wave them away. Slowly but surely, you rise to your feet, still dazed and trying to catch your breath. You make your way to the ring. The ringside medic comes over to check if you are okay after that small knock to your head. How do you feel? He asks, and you wave him off as you had done the referees, not wanting to answer. He stops, knowing how stubborn wrestlers can be, leaving you alone for now. You pull yourself onto the apron, rolling under the bottom rope, crawling over to Shawn. He still lays there. The pedigree from his former teammate knocked him out cold, and all he can do is lie there. You lie next to him, still catching your breath from when Triple pushed you, waiting for Shawn to stir. You sit up, noticing a little movement, a pained groan from the Heartbreak Kid. His eyes open slowly, and it takes him a moment to work out where he is, but sure enough, once he notices, he pushes himself up as much as he can. Take it easy, Sean. You place your hand on his shoulder, and suddenly find his light brown eyes staring through you.
Wait.
He's in an obvious state of shock, and the pedigree seems to have done some damage. What happened? His words are mumbled, and it's hard to hear him over the crowd who are still in shock themselves because of what happened. You took a pedigree, knocked you out cold. Sean groans again, holding his head. You stand, hold out your hand for him to take, which he does. He uses you to pull himself up, all the while being careful not to pull you over as he does so. Once the two of you are stood in the ring, the crowd cheers, and you look at Sean. He slowly makes his way over to the ropes, which he opens for you, before going through them himself. The two of you make your slow ascent up the ramp, ready to get into the quiet, where you can think about what happened. Oh, he stabbed us in the back, Sean growls. You his own flesh and blood, and me, his best friend. I should have noticed before. You shake your head, walking alongside him. The cameras are rolling and sending the feed live to the Titantron, giving the WWE Universe a taste of what happens backstage. The two of you stop abruptly, and you see the camera pan from the corner of your eye, getting Triple H in the shot. He stands emotionless as he looks over you and Sean, seemingly not caring at all. Y/N. Come with me, he says, voice full of demand. You look at Sean, who looks between you and your brother. Y/N will not be going anywhere with you. Yes, she will. The two men glare at each other. You don't want a fight to break out. Not right here, and definitely not right now, with Sean's current state. You step forward a little, looking at your older brother. You snarl at him, and he gives you a slightly amused look. I'm not going anywhere with you, Hunter. He cocks his head, questioning you. You give him a sickly grin before turning to HBK. The two of you make eye contact briefly before you pull Sean's face to yours, joining your lips to prove a point. The stare you earn from your brother is intense. If looks could kill, no one in the arena would be left alive. You hear him storm off, but continue the kiss, knowing the segment isn't over for another few seconds. And we're done. You pull away from Sean, not too sure what to be thinking at this stage. I don't know about you, but I needed that, he mutters. Barely loud enough for you to hear. What? You didn't quite catch what Sean had just said, but he dismisses the subject. Well, you begin. That was fun. You smile, and he returns a smile. Yeah, we should do that again sometime, he winks. You can feel the heat rise to your cheeks as you look away from him, biting the inside of your lip. He lifts up your head with his finger and thumb, flashing you his perfect smile. How about we go somewhere more private and do it again? And that is the end.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels.
Oh my god. I love that the do it again is just like kiss.
Yeah. Very tame.
It's super tame. It's very sweet. Very sensual story.
I love a good story like that, especially when it's read with such drama.
Absolutely.
I know. You had too much passion. There was wearing headphones and listening to you speak. I was like, "Oh God, what am I doing today?" It's like this weird ASMR situation. Yeah. Like, his voice sounds so soothing, but I'm listening to wrestlers.
Yeah, it's such a deep, visceral voice. It's so nice.
Thank you for listening, everyone.
At first, I thought I was confused for a second. I thought that the brothers were kissing, and then I realized they weren't, and that's nice. It's a welcome surprise.
Thank you. There's a little bit of sweet chin music.
Mm-hmm. You'll love to see it.
I do like that the sort of romantic hero of that, Shawn Michaels, sort of notoriously one of the biggest assholes in the history of professional wrestling.
Oh, yes.
Well, maybe he just needs some love. Maybe that's the whole thing.
It's a good point.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or, like, not.
No love.
No love. Not in the ring.
And if you'd like to hear Anthony Hall talk more about wrestling stories, probably not like this, you can check out his podcast, Book It Vince.
Yeah, it's available on all your favorite podcatchers. And myself and my co-host Marty, we challenge each other to book dream matches and dream storylines between wrestlers that may not ever have those matches or storylines. And we also do fun bookings as well. We have a really wicked episode out right now that is a Royal Rumble, but all of the wrestlers are Simpsons characters. And it's us and our special guest, Jake Martin. And it is really, really long, the episode, but I guarantee it is a good time.
Yeah, must listen for wrestling fans.
That's awesome.
So with that, let's move on to our second game.
Yay!
And this game I'm really excited for. It's called Fill That Gap.
Ooh.
So I'm going to give you a line from a piece of erotic fan fiction, and I will have left off the end of the line, and I'd like you all to make your best guess as to what the missing part of the line is.
Okay.
Okay.
So our first line, SpongeBob's breathing sped up, and he started to slightly moan again. He closed his eyes and leaned back onto the bed as he... blank. So how do we think that line concludes?
Say it one more time.
SpongeBob's breathing sped up, and he started to slightly moan again. He closed his eyes and leaned back onto the bed as he...
As he expelled his secret sauce. A secret sauce not unsimilar to the secret sauce used on a Krabby Patty.
Well done.
A bit wordy, but not a million miles off.
I'm just trying to think of any other reference. As he climaxed loudly into Sandy's hands, shortly interrupting Squidward's flute session.
You're
as
really
he waited
close.
for Patrick to climb back on top and pick which star hole to use.
Oh,
beautiful.
I think Rachel came the closest on that one. The full line from the story was SpongeBob's breathing sped up, and he started to slightly moan again. He closed his eyes and leaned back onto the bed as he came in Squidward's hand.
Oh, wow, that's pretty close.
That was close.
You were really close.
Wow.
You just said Sandy instead of Squidward.
But Squidward was there.
I incorporated him in the plot.
Yeah.
Very true, yeah.
But also, in the hand is such a specific detail of this line.
At first, I thought this was a congratulatory thing, but now it just seems like I've read it before.
Trying so hard to I guess I must have read that somewhere.
Maybe I should guess more wrong.
But it is oddly specific. It's is it an open hand? Like a palm? It's just
Squidward
weird.
has tentacles.
Oh, it's true.
He doesn't have hands at all. Does
I
he?
mean,
we're blowing this up. That author made a mistake.
Squidward does technically have hands, but they are tentacles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Good.
All right. Our second line that I'd like you to complete is R2-D2 extended his manual probes and started blank.
Oh,
Festering around C-3PO's asshole, digging circuitly deep.
Circuitly deep.
I don't know what I'm saying.
It ended with and started, right?
Yeah.
And started inserting it into Chewbacca's asshole. I think it is an ass thing. I think you're right. But I'm saying it's Chewbacca.
2 votes for asshole.
And started penetrating the Millennium Falcon.
Ooh, that's good.
Ooh. That would be good. It's not correct, unfortunately.
Oh my
Damn
god.
Nothing is getting penetrated.
What?
Starship asshole. The full line is R2-D2 extended his manual probes and started probing for the Wookiee's nipples.
Oh.
Oh.
Who had Chewbacca though? That's bonus points.
That was
That's
Rachel
me.
again.
God damn, that's 3 for 3.
Rachel, stop reading these stories before recording the podcast.
Started fun, but I don't know if I should keep doing this. Damn it.
This last line begins, Joey claws at the leather before his fingers catch on his lover's thighs, and he forces his hips to still, so blank.
Sorry, Joey?
Joey.
Like from
Yes.
Friends?
I'm not telling.
Or Blossom?
Holy shit.
TV's Blossom.
Wait, how did it end?
It ended, and he forces his hips to still, so blank.
So I'm going to go for it. So
Okay.
he forces Marcel the monkey to...
Excellent.
I can't finish this sentence. Where he forces Marcel the monkey to take it even deeper. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay. It's too vanilla if it's Phoebe. It's gotta be
So he forces his engorged member into Gunther and asks,
nice.
"How you doing?"
Yeah, that's great.
We got one guess for Marcel, one guess for Gunther.
I'm gonna say and penetrates meatball sub.
Oh,
And one vote for a sandwich.
And deeply penetrates a sandwich.
You just threw it away. You already knew.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
What is it, Paul?
I guess Anthony was closest because it does involve another human
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
instead of a monkey or a sandwich.
Then that is closest. That is closest.
The full line is Joey claws at the leather before his fingers catch on his lover's thighs, and he forces his hips to still so Chandler can split him open.
Oh.
It's not even bad that it's Chandler. It's bad that he was split the fuck open. Like, if anything, I'm rooting for Chandler and Joey. That's a lovely pairing.
Yeah, I don't think he's literally splitting him open.
Well, yeah, but the wording. Yeah, I'd give it to
Yeah, I think it
The
just
wording would
implies a sort of
suggest splitting
forcefulness.
open.
I'd give it to Gunther.
Yeah, I think I'm going to as well because Anthony was the only one who got the correct species.
Yay!
I didn't get the splits though. Damn.
I think the overall winner of that game is Rachel again.
Oh, damn.
Yay! I win, but also that's not that cool. Oh.
All right, let's move right along because we've still got one more story to hear, and that story is going to be coming to us from Taylor Davis.
Hooray.
So, Taylor, I know you also have some experience because you've won the live show, I believe, a record number of times.
4 times.
Woo.
I believe it's 4.
Fuck.
My dream was to do 3 in a row, but I was destroyed. Then I came back to stop someone else from doing 3 in a row.
It was very vindictive of you that you
God
demanded to
damn.
come back.
Because it's a wrestling match. It's the Cocktagon. I can't let people just take my records.
Yeah, true. And to date, nobody has.
Are you guys all ready?
Oh, I'm ready. I just have so many questions, but I think they'll be answered.
The RMS Titanic once
Oh,
again
no.
found herself alone. Once again found herself alone on a Saturday night, and she loved it. Her sister, the HMHS Britannic, could never understand her. She would always ask, "Why do you like being alone in the middle of the ocean? You're the most famous ship in the world." It is true that not only was she the biggest and fastest ship, she just didn't care for the attention. Britannic just wanted the fame, but she didn't know what it was like to have the world's eyes on you all the time, watching your every move, studying, and trying to get inside you. But out here, in the middle of the Atlantic, the Titanic felt truly free. Sure, she currently had 2,200 men, women, and children deep inside of her, but for the most part, they were all asleep. And she could finally listen to the stillness of the ocean. She would often watch the stars as she chugged along at 21 knots, hauling her 800-foot-long, 52,000-ton body. She felt she had more in common with stars than she did other ships, because stars were lonely. The Titanic sighed, as much as she liked to be alone in these moments. The thoughts of having someone to share it with once again crawled back into her thoughts. Though the chances of ever finding someone who could possibly understand her and her experience were about as good as women getting the vote in the year of 1912. It just wasn't going to happen.
Really places us in the
Taylor.
world.
It's a point. The night air had a chill, and despite having 29 boilers run by 159 furnaces where she consumed 600 tons of coal daily, she found herself shivering. Suddenly, an outline of a shape began to appear on the horizon. She couldn't quite make out what it was, and she must have been staring for a while because a nice, cool voice sounded out, "You like what you see?" Of course.
My god.
It was an iceberg. She knew now. She could see his cigarette smoke from here, and the stink of whiskey was sure to follow it. Pardon me, I didn't know anyone else was out here, just passing through. She knew better than to get talking to an iceberg. Their reputation for charm and affection for ships was well known. She was getting ready to pass by when they whispered something to her. "Pardon my intrusion, but can I ask you a question?" the iceberg asked without even making eye contact, for neither of them had eyes. You may, but I'm quite busy. I have over 2,000 men, women, and children on board who trust me to get them to New York as soon as possible. She had attempted to sound irritated, but there was something about this iceberg. This iceberg's cool confidence and icy, smug voice, which would irritate any ship her age, was somehow intriguing to her. She didn't know why. The iceberg took a long drag from their cigarette. "I was just wondering what you were running away from." The question caught her off guard, and she became defensive before she even understood it. "What? How dare you assume? I just said that I have to get these people to New York. I'm not running away from anything." "Okay, sorry, I asked. Carry on," the iceberg apologized. "Thank you, I will," she clipped back, and began making her way west to go past him, but she couldn't help herself. She'd be lying if she said the question didn't affect her. "And if I may ask, what would make you think I was running away from anything?" she challenged. "Because," he paused and tossed his cigarette into the ocean, "you remind me of me." He didn't say it to sound cool or to be anything but honest in that moment. She looked at him long and hard. It was nearly midnight. She shouldn't be hanging out with an iceberg in the middle of the ocean. But again, she lingered. "I know I don't know you or anything, but when I saw you watching the stars, I felt something. A connection. See, I ran away from Greenland recently and found myself watching the stars every night, wishing I could share it with someone." The Titanic felt her two reciprocating four-cylinder triple-expansion steam engines flutter. It was like the iceberg and her were the same, yet they were so different. That's sweet of you to say, but I'm sorry, I must be going." "Is it because I'm an iceberg? Is that it? Because if you're just going to leave because of what other people say about icebergs, then I say you're a coward." She gasped. No one had ever spoken to her like that. She wasn't sure if she was getting hot because of the anger, or if the fires in the boiler room were getting out of control, or maybe, just maybe, this iceberg was starting to turn around. "I'll have you know I'm a very respectable Olympic-class ocean liner." "But are you lonely?" the iceberg asked. "How dare you?" Titanic shouted. "You didn't answer the question." The iceberg moved closer, or was it she that was moving too close? Her head was spinning. "Listen, I have to go," she said, trying to regain her composure. "Yeah, New York, I remember." Their voices were getting softer as they inched closer. "Maybe on my way back, me and you." "I won't be here," he interrupted. "I'm floating south, and eventually I will melt and become a part of the ocean. All I have is tonight." He moved even closer. "This is crazy. We can't do this." But she wanted to. Her hull was vibrating at the very thought of making the forbidden contact with an iceberg. "Can't or won't?" he asked as she moved even closer. All the men on her deck running around screaming, realizing the She couldn't help it. She had to taste them. They connected. Like a force of nature, their two bodies ripped into one another, faces smashed together, and the iceberg's tongue found its way through her captain's deck. She tore off more than half of her lifeboats, tossing them to the wind as they pushed deeper and deeper into one another. The people on board screamed for help and were gripped with terror, but she didn't care. For once, she was thinking about herself, and it felt good. Would 53 of the 1,500 deaths soon to come be children? Yes, but in that moment, all she could think... all she could think was her and her iceberg, connected in the middle of the Atlantic. The iceberg's penis pushed in 5 of her watertight compartments as she moaned in pleasure. She felt wet, flooded, and oh so turned on. her funnels shooting out steam as she climaxed. They floated apart. A silence fell between them. She felt herself grow heavy with the knowledge that she would never see the iceberg again, and also the thousands of gallons of water rushing in through her damaged hull. Well, I guess this is goodbye, the iceberg said, tears filling up with what would be his eyes. But what if I stayed in the ocean with you? She said, not thinking of the men, women, and children that would definitely die if she did. You'd do that for me? Asked the iceberg, shocked. They called me unsinkable, but I think I've fallen for you, Titanic said in a whimper. The newspapers are going to be shocked tomorrow, he quipped, and they laughed and laughed as all the men and women and children screamed into the darkness. The end.
Oh my god.
Absolutely incredible.
Wow. Did you write that?
Yes, I wrote that one. Originally was writing the 11 one.
Jesus Christ.
I was thinking because originally I was writing the Hindenburg and Titanic meeting in a bar and having sex.
That's
beautiful.
With the Hindenburg originally exploding, but that was like no, like
oh my goodness.
The forbidden lovers has got to be the iceberg.
And it's so funny that he's smoking the whole time.
It's because he's so cool, don't you get it?
He's so cool. He's got a cigarette.
Oh my god. Because at first, before halfway through, I was like, "Wait, Taylor wrote this." Because at the beginning, I was like, "That's an erotica written by a woman," which is a huge compliment. Let me say.
I'll take it. That's a great compliment.
Yeah, that was absolutely something else. And with our final story, that means it's time for us to all collectively decide who deserves the championship today. So, Anthony, do you have any input?
Wow. I just am still trying to collect myself after Taylor's story. What a
Absolutely.
journey. The women and children. R.I.P.
It was not fun. I can tell you to Google how many children died in the Titanic. I was Googling that last night.
So often.
Jesus. I just wanted her to realize the seriousness of her selfishness.
I love that it was painted as she's always acted for other people, but now she's thinking about herself as a woman power moment.
Yeah, it was amazing. WAP stands for wet ass port.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and that's great.
For that, I say Taylor deserves to win because he wrote something incredibly beautiful and performed it very well.
I second that. I second that vote.
I'm giving mine to Rachel because she cheated and
I fucking cheat,
beforehand.
I fucking cheat. You think I wrote this shit? I didn't. Some creep did, and I gave him a platform.
Why is he a creep? The fact that his name is, what is it? Arya
Stark Naked.
Arya Stark Naked.
Who started the show as, how old was she? 11?
11. 10.
Something like that. But, well, because there's the built-in pun there.
I haven't seen the show.
I'm not going there.
Okay.
Is the built-in pun of Stark Naked.
Oh, I didn't even
catch my god. Oh, now I feel stupid.
The other side of that coin being that Arya is an 11-year-old child.
Oh my god.
And there are plenty of other Starks that he could have.
That's so funny. I didn't say careful as if you were going to go there. I was saying careful because I was like, what if Paul says a spoiler?
What if I said a spoiler?
But Ned Stark naked would make more sense.
Yeah. But that's not where we are as a society.
That's true.
Anyways, I second the Taylor vote. I adored that. That was great. I love when inanimate objects smoke. I just think there's something so funny. It's just when it's the same humor of when you put a cigarette in between the bread of a sandwich. I know we were just talking about sandwiches, but it's just that idea that it's smoking is just so funny.
Yeah, when you put a cigarette between the bread of a sandwich and then fuck it.
And then fuck the sandwich, Joey style.
That's what it's called, Joey style.
Joey style.
What about you, Taylor? Who do you think is
I was giving it
the winner of this week?
to Rachel. She did win all the mini games. We have to remind ourselves, and those have to be worth something.
They don't.
But also, I'm a massive Game of Thrones fan, and that story was awful.
Just awful. Just nothing that you want.
Yeah, and I would say my vote would also go with Rachel.
What?
And I think a lot of it has to do with sort of, I think probably very accurately identifying that it was not a woman who wrote that.
Oh, no, a woman?
I don't think we're ever going to know for sure, but I think we can be 99.9% positive.
Find me a female writer that calls a vagina a cleft, and then we'll talk.
The cleft of a woman.
The cleft of a woman, and we'll talk. Terrible.
And then there's just woman listening to this podcast going...
Yeah, she's angrily writing in. That's a tie then. What do we do?
Well, it's a tie, but I think with your victories in the bonus games... that's going to put you over the top, and I feel confident saying that the winner of this week's episode is Rachel Manson.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I always made it to the running. I don't think I've ever come in first in the shows. This is nice.
Not at the live shows, but it's
happened.
Don't take it away from her, Paul.
She's the one who said it.
Yeah, he's
not in the live
right.
shows.
He's
Never
right,
won.
but now it's happened. And
this is the internet Cocktagon, and anything is possible.
Oh my god, I love it! I'm proud. I'm proud to take the crown of the Cocktagon. Thank you.
All right, a very worthy champion. Guys, before we say our goodbyes, is there any other projects that you're working on that you'd like to promote or mention?
No.
It's a pandemic, Paul.
Keep an eye out for Neurotica. Could be 1 year, could be 2, but I think we're trucking along. So keep an eye out.
Yeah, I think if they're enjoying this podcast, they're definitely going to enjoy that.
Oh yeah.
So that's Rachel's plug. Taylor's was no, there's nothing going on. It's
Wear
a
a
pandemic,
mask.
and I feel ashamed of
Correct.
myself.
Wear a mask.
Yeah.
Wear a mask. Social
Nice.
distance. It's not over yet.
It's not fucking over.
Wear a mask. Take care of each other out there, so that one day we can get back to reading porn in front of a live audience.
Yay!
All right. Well, I'll thank you all again for joining. Taylor Davis, Anthony Hall, Rachel Manson. Congratulations again to our champion, Rachel Manson, and we will see you next time for another edition of The Pen is Mightier.